Invictus Week. Fleet Week has a long history rooted in tradition. It goes back several centuries to a time when the UAE was known as the United Planets of Earth. Shortly after the First Tavaran War began in 2541, humanity suddenly found itself in need of an organised military force, hitherto unrequired. To this point, aside from the hostage situation with the Xi'an in 2530, there had only been a need for local security forces under control of the central human government. With humanity facing an imminent and overwhelming threat, a fleet needed to be raised and trained quickly. The tribunal sent out an immediate call for volunteers to create this fleet. Transport ships on each of the settled planets would load up these volunteers and travel to a training facility on Mars known as Invictus. On the morning of the 12th, the 10th, 2542, families and communities gathered at launch pads around the UPE territories to farewell those that were going to fight against the alien invaders. As the conflict continued, more recruits would gather on the same day to travel to Invictus to begin their training. Over the centuries, as the Empire has expanded and space travel has become more accessible, most recruits are able to self-report. The need for Invictus's launch week has diminished. The spirit of it, however, has remained strong. Invictus is a time to celebrate each other, celebrate bravery, duty, and commitment to the goals that define humanity at its finest. Invictus Week, here we are again, back for another one. We're in 3.19 PTU. They've had a bit of a sneak peek of Invictus running, so I decided to come in and have a look, see what it's all about. I hope you guys enjoyed the little intro I recorded, a bit of history about Invictus Week, what it's all about, etc. So as for how to get here, it's pretty straightforward. What you got to do is jump on any train and get off at the centre. All trains are going to eventually get you there. So the one from the Central Business District will stop at the spaceport first, then go to the centre from there. Once you're there, just follow the signs, jump into an elevator, and that will take you to the display hall where you see us here. We've missed the MISC display, so what you've got here is the Anvil display. So there's some good ships here, the Gladiator, the Carrack, the Hawk. All of them you can board, you can have a play with, you can actually hire a couple of them, which is really cool, I thought. So we're just having a bit of a look around here at the moment. So Invictus is something that CRG runs every year. It's an event. Usually you'll end up with displays like this with a whole bunch of ships from providers. Usually a free fly event as well that goes along with it. So what they'll do is you can jump in the verse, you can have a play with some of the ships, and if you decide to create an account, my referral code up there will get you a free 5,000 Alpha UEC to be able to buy stuff in the game, which is pretty cool. I do get a bit of a kickback as well, of course, as you'd expect. So we're just wandering around, checking things out, seeing what's here. This is cool. This is a Liberator. This is one of my favorite ships. If it was the Kraken, it would be even better, but Drake is coming into FenceCon later. Then we'll get a good look at the Kraken. That's the ship I'm really looking forward to, is the Kraken. This one here is the Crucible. It's going to be a flying repair ship. It's not in-game, it's a concept. We'll see how that goes. I still think that's a few years off release, to be honest with you. Here you've got the Anvil Centurion. It's an anti-air vehicle. I do jump in a few of these vehicles. They don't have power plants installed, so you can't actually turn anything on, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I kind of makes sense as to why you don't want people driving around the display halls in Centurions running everyone over. It would end up being messy. There's the Spartan. I'm not actually going to get inside that. It's not that different to the Centurion, just a different weapons loadout. So we're coming back up to the main display hall here. This is where most of the Anvil ships are stored. You got the Pisces over there. There's the Carrack, the big girl. I've got an F8 over there, which we'll go and have a look at now. F8's a really cool ship, really heavily armed, great fighter. Is on my list of ships to own one day. So as I said, you can actually rent these ships. For now, at least in this, they are free. I'm assuming when the game is released to live, this will actually cost Alpha UEC to rent. So only rent the ships if you actually want to have a go at it. I could be wrong, and it could be during the free fly that they're completely free to rent, or they may just give us ships. Not really sure on the details of that just yet. Yeah, this Carrack is a big ship, eh? Pretty impressive. This is the Anvil Hawk. Again, pretty impressive ship. Yeah, here I am just trying to rent them all, just to see if it works. Again, just testing stuff. Yeah, like I said, you can get in all the ships, all the pilot seats, all the gunner seats, everything you can get into. It's good to come in and have a look at the ships that are available. I mean, you may never own one of these, you may never see one in the verse. This is your chance to have a good look at what one looks like. So that red ship off in the distance there, we'll go have a look at that in a minute. That's the Squadron 999 F8 Lightning. It's actually got a really cool paint job. Tried to get into the ship, you can't get in. Annoyingly. Here we are looking at the Terrapin. Probably one of the most useless ships in the verse at the moment. The scanning station doesn't do anything. Armor isn't implemented yet. This is supposed to be one of the heaviest armored ships available. Great for exploration. Exploration isn't a thing just yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day the Terrapin will have a place. Alright, as promised, we're heading over to view this custom Lightning. Like I said, it's a very cool looking ship. There's a bit of a history about the 999 F8 Lightning. Squadron 999 being the Navy's elite test unit. So what you're not seeing is the new ship that was announced recently, the Miscal Mirai Fury. As I mentioned earlier, we missed out on the MISC display. We've got the Anvil display. My thoughts on that ship, I'm not going to get one. I don't think they're that great. Yeah, it's a snub-nosed fighter. I'm not a fan of snub-nosed fighters. They'll need a carrier of some sort to get them out and have them be useful. One day when the Liberator or the Kraken are released, then they'll be useful. Until such time, I'm passing. suppose you could use it to get a cheap LTI token and then melt that ship and upgrade to a new one. That's your choice. So here we're just going through the last of the ships. A couple of lightnings to look at. I was trying to get into the ships there. You can't actually get into these ones. F7A, that's a sexy looking ship. Reminds me a hell of a lot of Tomcat for some reason. I don't know whether it's the swept back wings or the nose, or maybe it's just the colour scheme. Anyway, that's it for Invictus Week preview. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and you like what I'm doing, feel free to give me a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think of Invictus Week, whether you're going to play or not. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers!